Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Trip Around Multiverse with your host, the man who drowned in a colossal tsunami that wiped out New York, Carl Charles.
And the woman that tastes like chicken, CY Chung.
And the day has finally come where we have made up to reviewing and discussing the downfall.
Well, actually,
the middle bit of the Ultimate Universe that just
actually, as a precursor, like you're saying, right? After rereading this again, I was like, I wonder why this universe died. You know, actually, what do you think of the stuff that happened after this?
Stuff after this was pretty good because I read everything after this.
I like Ultimate Avengers and Ultimate what's
Ultimate Avengers, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, no,
Ultimates.
Ultimate Spider-Man has always been good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's always fun adventure, light-hearted and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimate X-Men. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, here and there, there were like really murky stuff going on.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, this and Ultimate Avengers, we know all about that. Jeez, Ultimate Ultimates.
Yeah, Ultimate Ultimates. Yep. And then there was Ultimate 4.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. And Ultimate X. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Ultimate X happened after this, though, right?
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, literally straight after.
Yeah, Ultimate X, not the thing where we fight for an X Division title over red ropes that cross over.
No, something that's actually better than that.
Well, I don't know. Which Ultimate X is better?
The comic. Ultimate X matches are terrible. Well, they're not terrible. They're just
no. The concept probably is not great. The matches, though.
The matches, they're good. The concept's a bit. Okay.
But after this is the midpoint where I see in Ultimatum where everything goes a bit more downhill after this, and they can't just kind of reach the heights that they did before.
Yes.
Now, coincidentally, they are relaunching the Ultimate Universe. I read somewhere.
Yeah, and apparently, I don't know if it's actually like a reboot or an actual continuation, because the continuation makes more sense to me, but because
the Ultimate Universe still does exist.
Yep.
Even though it got kind of wiped out by, was it the Molecule Man? He merged universes together.
Yeah.
Because Miles Morales then got teleported over.
Yep.
And then his mum suddenly undied.
Yeah. And then he's the only one that remembers that.
Yeah.
And I think
so. Is there going to be a Miles Morales in this Ultimate Universe that isn't the same as that one, which then starts making things not any sense because there is a 616 Miles Morales who is Ultimatum?
Yeah, because then how he goes back to that universe.
Yeah, well, he definitely knows it exists. Yeah, it's a bit of a
bit
of a weird one, but we'll see that. Would you say it'd be better, though, in your opinion, just to start afresh? Well, you're saying a continuation is better, but are you saying it should just kind of roughly continue?
Yeah, roughly continue.
Yeah, just be like, some of the stuff in Ultimates happened, yeah?
Yeah.
But we are going to start from this point, like Fast and Furious 4.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And kind of like pick and choose.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in a good way.
Yeah. Unless also you want to say it's like going to be like Star Trek 2009?
Yeah, I think that's for me personally, that's probably the best way that anything like reboot but still paying homage to the original works. Yeah.
Okay, so actually, first of all, the art is not bad here. The art is not bad, right? Yeah. I say it's not bad. Some things are a bit weird, right?
Yes.
Some things are I want to say not necessarily gratuitous, but sometimes it's the bad script that makes good art just be like, man, this is a bit.
Yeah.
I think also is because it's a bit too over the top for where it should be.
Yep.
Who's aimed at, but then it's aimed at edgy kids or whatever, you know.
Yep. Yes. Okay. Edgelords, yeah.
I don't know. Because there's stuff we'll come to, and I'll just I'll point out as we go along.
Yeah.
But it starts off. Wait, this is 5 issues, by the way.
Yeah, but like there's bits in between that they don't show because it happens in like Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, the Ultimate Requiem series. Well, no, it's Ultimate Spider-Man Requiem or something like that. Ultimate Fantastic Four Requiem, is it?
I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, but there are side stories, and I have to say, after rereading all this, I don't even think this needed 5 issues. Could have been done in 3.
Yeah. Now you're thinking about it.
Well, no, you could have been streamlined to 3. I mean, Fear itself and Siege was 4 issues.
Yeah. But they had more of a, even though this had a big build up, but it was like Siege.
Yeah.
Because it had like a year build up with the other comics, and it kind of made sense. This, all it really had was that stupid book that came before it, which
Ultimate 3.
Yes,
which this could have been, by the way, Ultimate 3 Part 2, essentially.
Yeah.
Even though it's got a bunch of characters in it, and it's not just the Ultimates. It's just like Ultimate 3 was only 5 issues.
Something like that. Yeah. It was 5 issues too long. Yeah.
So we just kind of start at the Ultimate Baxter building where Sue and Reed are talking. He's got like an engagement ring thing behind his hidden behind his back, and he's probably gonna propose, right?
Yeah, probably.
The Thing's doing weights, and Johnny Storm is arguing with Papa Storm about where there is.
About him not doing anything with his life, basically.
Yeah. And then you go to this is just to set the backstory of the people that don't know what's going to go on, right? Just every day in their lives. So Tony Stark and Captain America talking about stuff.
What are they actually talking?
He's telling Captain America, Iron Man's telling Captain America to stop thinking about Number Man's wife because Jan and Hank are back together, even though
Stupid.
Which we'll get to in just a second, right?
Yep.
Thor is speaking Shakespearean, even though he doesn't do that in the Ultimate Universe. And then all of a sudden, and having a sparring match with Valkyrie, who wears not a lot of clothes, so it's like, And the way they're swinging their swords, Valkyrie look like she's actually going to chop Thor in half, because I know how she's going to stop her sword there.
Yeah, it's to look cool in pictures.
Yeah, and then Wasp is talking in a loud whisper because she's small, which I was like, oh yeah, nice, that makes sense. She looked to Hank saying, oh yeah, my yellow jacket costume is like my yellow jacket stuff is going to be amazing, and Hawkeye's like, you're a bum, you're trash.
Basically.
You beat your wife. I don't even know why I'm talking to you, right?
Yeah.
Hank's like,
okay,
shut up, Hawkeye, go away, right? And he's like, nah, I'm just gonna attack you Alex War. I'm like, wow, all right. I mean, Hawkeye, yeah. And then we jump into Ultimate Spider-Man. He's got Kitty Pryde there.
Yeah,
Liz Allen
at the time. Yeah.
Keenan Kong, who's also, what's his other name? He's Michael Chang, aka Kenny Kong, because Bendis didn't keep his name straight.
Oh, okay.
But people combine both names together and say his name's Clifford Kenny Kong Chang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's like, all right, fair enough. Yeah, and then you got they're talking on the train. And then the X-Men, some of the X-Men, you got Dazzler, who's now a punk goth girl.
Yep, Dazzler, Beast, Nightcrawler, and Angel.
Yeah. They're talking about mutant stuff. I like how they're blending with, it's like, oh, Angel, you got wings, please, man. You can't say that you're going to suffer like the rest of us being outcasts. And I'm like, Dazzler, you don't look like... Kurt is blue, yeah?
Kurt is blue. Beast looks... just like a hairy
bulky,
dude.
right?
Yeah.
And Dazzler, you look like a goth chick, so
yes.
I don't really, Kurt's the only one that should be beefing on this.
Yeah. Like, this argument made no sense to me. Like, okay, Dazzler, you kind of made yourself look that way. It's not like your mutation or anything gave you all that. So that makes no sense.
But yeah, no, it's just a random dude walking in the street, right? And then she's like trying to pick up. As they've gone past, she's trying to not necessarily pick a fight with that guy, but just use him as a target to vent. And I'm like, dude's just walking by, jeez.
Yeah.
And then there's thunderstorms, right?
Yep, and they all look at the sky like, oh, what is that? It was a sunny day. Why is all of a sudden rain and thunder?
Yeah. And then, bam, the ultimatum flood. And this is like first, 5 pages in.
Yeah.
Like, the thing wrestling a big whale. And I was like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he is that strong. Okay. That's literally my first thought. Oh, he's that strong. Okay. Makes sense.
So, Yellow Jacket, Ant-Man, Hank Pym, now grows to Giant Man size. He shouts, Jan, he's looking for Jan. Bruce Banner somehow, somewhere, is got caught in the flood.
Yeah, he's that guy that he pushed past.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to have a second. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that the first time around. How did you notice that, by the way?
Oh, because they're wearing the same clothes.
Well, no, that's the thing. His jacket's slightly different coloured, and got the
It's wet.
the same. Yeah, he is right because of the Ford t-shirt, but I think he's not quite coloured the same. His clothing wise, but yeah, I didn't notice that. Lucky you noticed that, eh?
Yeah.
And yeah, then he turns into the Grey Hulk.
Because he's the Grey Hulk at this moment in time.
Yeah, Kitty Pryde phases Peter Parker through a train, and she's like, Kitty, you know, people got to see. He's like, nah, people were just watching the flood. You got to be Spider-Man. You got to help these people. And then he goes, sure thing, and he does, right? Angels flying in the water somehow.
No,
I mean, I think he's meant to look like he's swimming, but his wings don't look like they're wet.
No.
Anyways, he finds Dazzler. He flies out of the water with Dazzler, and yeah, he perched on a rooftop and realizes she's dead.
Yeah. You're like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Go all right. And then you got Cap drowning in Tony's apartment, and Iron Man flies through and brings him out, and then that's when we see Sue and Reed on the top of the Baxter building, and Reed's getting Sue to use her powers to push away the wave. And she's like, oh, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And he goes, no, you can do it. I believe in you. So she does it, and then she ends up collapsing because she's never used her powers that much before. And then Ben comes up on the roof, and he's like, hey, guys, tell me what happened. And he's basically telling me. He goes, oh, yeah, Reed, tell me what happened in less than 25 words. And then he goes, I don't know. He goes, yep, that's the quickest you've ever done that.
Yeah. And then, this could look bad, but what Reed does is like, all right, Ben, you take care of Sue. I'm going to go off and do other things, but it's not quite like that.
Yeah, like, I think I know who did this. This was Victor. Victor all along was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then he jumps on his little speedboat Fantastic Four thing to go and look for... No, wait, he's done Victor. No,
he accused his Namor.
Yeah, he thinks it's Namor because water. That's a bit...
Well, no, because they had that beef in Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Because Namor caused the flood that looked like Poseidon, that looked like Triple H with the sledgehammer.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of a stretch though, isn't it, you know?
No, I mean, do you remember that?
Yeah, I'm saying though, like, for him to just think that...
Yeah.
A bit of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes racing off to Atlantis, and then Namor comes out and goes, dude, where you going?
Yeah.
And then they have a little tussle, but...
Yeah, because Reed's like, I know you did it, you don't lie, I know it was you, I know.
And he's like, why do I do that? I may hate humans, but I love Sue.
I love me a bit of Sue Storm, you know what I'm saying?
So why am I going to flood the earth? So he's like, oh, okay. Then he electrocutes him and then ties him to the boat. And then we're in that area where Dr. Doom's like, where is everyone? And he comes out of his chamber and he calls... I didn't know Mary Storm was a person, literally, until reading this.
Well, here's the thing, right? Just to set this scene as well, because this doesn't make any sense.
No.
So, in the story arc before, Mary Storm, the mother of Sue and Johnny Storm, she came back for whatever reason. Anyway, she does exist as a character, and then she went off at the end of that story arc, yeah?
Yep.
Doctor Doom himself had his own story arc. What was it? The Ultimate Zombies story arc. Where he tried to double-cross them, I believe, and then they double-crossed him and sent him off to the werewolf dimension.
Yeah, something stupid.
Yeah, so not people weren't Marvel zombies; they were Marvel werewolves, and he's like, okay. And then they were saying about how the universes would never cross for 100 years.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's here.
Yeah, like, oh.
All right, okay,
Sure.
And like saying, is that Latveria where everyone's frozen, and he's like, where the devil is everyone? Doctor Mary Storm, Boris, and he's like, turns out in this story, like after this story, Doctor Doom is Mary Storm.
Yeah, I'm saying lots of it makes no sense.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, so we had to fix something that the people writing it, Jeff Loeb, at the time wasn't paying attention to a lot of things.
Yep.
Because he had other stuff going on.
Yep.
Fair enough. But sure, your editors be like, come on, there's only 24 Ultimates comics.
Well, that's why I can't. I can really say that. I don't know anything. Yeah.
So Doctor Doom busts out the front of his own castle and goes, "What's going on here?" Because everyone's all frozen.
Yeah.
Not flooded, by the way. Somehow they're all frozen.
Yeah.
Sorry?
The flash freeze or something like because of what's happened. Which you'll find out.
Professor X falls off his wheelchair in the X mansion, and they're like, something terrible's happened. The Cyclops and Wolverine run in there, goes, "What's going on?" Here's, by the way, Cyclops is meant to be like 16.
No, he's like 19.
Okay. Well, either case, he looks massive.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Professor X is like, "Oh, no, I've got to warn the people. Something terrible has happened." So he just does he? Yeah, he just sends it to the heroes. Was it? Because you only see the heroes' faces, but does it go across the world?
I think it goes across it goes to all the heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know because Magneto hears him, so I don't know.
Yeah. Even though Magneto's got a helmet on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, "You've got to stop Magneto." Yeah. Magneto's just sitting on his throne with Thor's hammer, by the way.
Yep.
Right?
Which he stole from Ultimatum. Not Ultimatum. Ultimatum. Ultimate's 3.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Yes, for what humanity, for what the people have done, they will have the ultimate price to pay." And I'm like, all right, well,
sure.
Yeah,
okay, I guess.
yeah. I mean, look, as the first issue, setting the scene and the suspense is pretty solid.
Yeah, pretty solid.
As in to build to who created the flood and everything like that. Yeah. So they kind of started loose, and then it ramps up, and I'm like, okay, but then what's the other 4 issues going to be?
Oh, you'll see. Yeah.
No, exactly. The 4 issues is like the rest of it is like, oh, this is how I'm going to deal with the flood afterwards. But all right.
Yeah, but it's like I was saying, like I'll say more about it later on when we finish. Okay. And then we go into issue 2 where Spider-Man is trying to help rescue people in New York, and he's like kind of filling us in of what happened
in case you missed the first issue somehow.
So he's like picking up cars and stuff, and then we see lots of the other giant men, SHIELD agents. Wait, are they called SHIELD in this universe? No, they're called the
they are
SHIELD? Yeah,
they are SHIELD.
But I don't think they're like agents are called SHIELD. They're like
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Whatever they are, and then we see Hulk helping the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You're like, oh bless. And then Spider-Man's like confused, like, oh Hulk, that's a new one. And then we see Iron Man flying the fast he can to Triskelion. With Captain America in his hands, and he meets Carol Danvers, who's now in control of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Nick Fury got left in the other planet because of what he did in
the Supreme Power universe.
Yeah.
Carol Danvers here looking like she's got balloons attached to her chest because...
Yep. Because,
Yeah. Even though she didn't look like that, I think, when they first drew her.
No.
But then again, remember when Nick Fury I don't think the first time we drew him, he wasn't actually black or looked like Samuel Jackson.
What, in the Ultimates?
Yeah.
No, he always looked black.
No. He had a different look. He actually had hair as well. He wasn't white, but he wasn't black in the first look.
Really?
I'll find it. I'll find it for you.
Find it.
Yeah, I'll find it for you because it's just how people genuinely know what he looks like now.
Yeah.
So they assume, but as you speak, I'll find
cool. Yeah. And then Carol Danvers is like, Tony, you can't come in here because we got lots of stuff going on, and since what happened with Nick Fury, not allowed here. And he's like, well, Carol, you owe me this favor. Cap's not breathing, and she's like, oh no, we got to save Cap. Send him to the infirmary right away. So they send him into surgery and they try to save his life. And Tony's like, I gotta go and help the others because of what's going on. And then we're back to the mansion where Giant Man / Yellow Jacket / Hank Pym's walking around saying, look for Janet. And Hawkeye's like, dude, you can't do this alone. Let me help you. You're like, why don't you help me?
Wait, Hawkeye's I thought this was actually quite logically written. Funny enough, right? Ant-Man's like, why? It's like, go away, Hawkeye. You're just you've been bullying me.
Yeah,
okay, fair enough. You deserve to be bullied. Yeah, exactly. Why do I want to accept your help and whatnot, right? And he's like, look. I lost my family too, right? And as much as I hate you and dislike you for what you did, that at the end of the day,
I don't need to go for what happened.
Yeah.
But then,
because that is it's like one of those things where you're like, I don't want to say break character, but you're like, this is actually a genuine concern.
Yeah.
Forget what we our past or whatever is.
Yeah.
Let me help you solve your problem.
But you know what I didn't understand about this part? How did Hawkeye survive? You know what I mean? It's never like everyone else has kind of shown how they survived.
Yeah.
Didn't show him.
Yeah.
And he was in the same place with them.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well.
Story convenience. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. You could say that he was attached to. By the way, I just sent you the link, and inside that link is you'll see. You scroll down, you'll see the initial design for Nick Fury.
Nicholas Fury.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember that. He's racially ambiguous in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it might just be the coloring though. That's the thing. I think is but yeah, in some parts, sometimes by the way, you know how like the Ultimate Nick Fury looks like Samuel Jackson. Sometimes he looks like Terry Crews. So
yeah. Artist discretion, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah. So they go around. Back to at the comic, right?
Yeah.
By the way, there's a panel, right?
Where
Ant-Man he's holding Hawkeye, right, in his palm, and he's growling at him, basically saying, why you wanted Jan to leave me? Why were you even offering to help? And you see his teeth really near Hawkeye's head.
I saw that. I was like, that's a bit weird. Was he gonna?
I was like,
off? Yeah.
I was like, foreshadowing.
Yeah, probably. That's what I was thinking. Literally looking at it now, I was like, that's foreshadowing, isn't it? Huh. ...
Yeah. Or who knows exactly. But the thing's looking after Sue Storm.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is, I would say, I don't know definitively, but would you say this is that foreshadowing stuff that will also happen in Ultimate Mystery?
Yes. I would.
This comic could actually run deeper than we think, right?
I think it does. Like, after reading it again the other day, I was like, it sets up a lot in the future. And like, it kind of gave me different views on it when we get to it later. Well, I'll say.
Well, that's the funny thing is, right? It's trash, but actually,
yeah, maybe genius at the same time.
yeah. Maybe we're trash.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Okay. So So Sue's got still active to some degree, but not. She's kind of in a coma, but she force fielded the thing.
Yeah, her powers are just like on the blink because she's not conscious. Yeah.
Yeah. So Reed has he's like, oh, I just wanted to marry Sue. Why is all this stuff happening? What's going on here?
It's all about me.
Yeah. I think he's beefing on Doom?
Yes.
No, he's beefing on Magneto, right?
Is he beefing on Magneto?
Yeah. He's like, I don't care that Xavier's appeared and said it was Magneto's fault. You played a role in this, Namor. I know it. Oh,
yeah, you're like, wait, what?
That's the maker right there, right?
Yeah. That's what I was here. I was like, yeah, this is showing the little signs of him becoming.
Yeah. So we get his plane gets magnetized or whatever, teleported up by another spaceship.
Yeah.
And then he's like this. Oh, Doom! I knew it was you.
Yeah, like, okay, you jump
Like-
from one to another straight away.
Yeah. Wait, didn't a second ago you thought it was Namor?
Yeah.
And even though they told you it's Magneto, you're now telling it's Doom. All right.
Okay.
Reed, all right.
Sure.
And it's like Doom's like, nah, Reed, not me. But
Yeah. Wait. Also, it's funny. He's like, Doom is you, even though Magneto's openly admitted basically that it's him.
Yeah.
But, all right.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then he said the one person that we can get to fix this is the former head of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And we've got Princess Zarda here. Princess Powell, sorry.
Yeah. Remember her, he says. Yeah.
Yeah, and we trade her back for Zarda. We trade her back for Doom. We trade her back for Nick Fury. Let me get it right.
Yeah.
But now, reading this and knowing that the Mary Storm is Doctor Doom, there seems to be he doesn't use any of his mechanics and armor and stuff like that. So it's just like, all right, I suppose.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense now as well. It's like, okay, yeah. Slightly makes sense.
See, okay. When we get to the end, I'm like, I'm brushing so many things under the rug, right?
Yep.
Because of the stupidity that goes on. However,
yeah.
So Thor's flying around the flooded New York area looking for Valkyrie.
Yeah.
On
Pegasus.
The flying horse.
Yeah.
And he finds her her body near the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
And he decides, all right, well, I'm just gonna go down to Valhalla to rescue her soul.
Hela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find Hela, who is not Thor's sister in this.
No. She's something else?
Yeah. Dressed up in a gimp kind of gear.
Yep.
I'm like, right. I mean,
Sure, I guess.
Ultimate's gonna Ultimates, I guess.
Yeah. Made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, look, if she had tights on, fine.
Yeah.
But she got like a thong thing, and you're like,
this is very impractical. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. This, she wasn't drawn that way for any practical reasons.
No, just for eye candy.
Just like how Carol Danvers, surprisingly somehow managed to fit in her shield gear.
Yeah.
When I mean, how'd you zip that shit up?
Yeah. So.
Anyways. Anyways, Thor's like, all right, well, I'll fight for the soul of Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And then
you can't take it away from me. Blah blah.
Yeah. Fights the horde of undead, and then as he's getting not even overwhelmed, but as he's just fighting them, Captain America's shield flies through, knocks the axe off a skeleton. He's like, yeah. And he's like, Captain, how are you here? And he goes, oh, we'll figure this out.
I like how he did. This is exactly. I like how he did. Like, I don't know, but we'll figure it out later. We got something more pressing to sort out, so let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's clever thinking.
And then, here we go. Right, Ant-Man is still looking around. Giant Man's still looking around.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's like, put me down. I see something. And he's like, and he's like, look, I can snipe people. I got good vision, right?
Yeah.
Put me down. I'll find her. He
He's
runs
like, I see
over.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, he runs over, and then he's like, "Oh no," because you see the wasp being eaten by the blob.
Yeah.
And she tastes like chicken. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Yeah. This is literally because I was buying this week to week. I was buying it when it's coming out, when it's going on, and this is literally. I was like, this is where it's taking a nosedive.
Yeah. Oh, because it was like there was no reason for she could have died in a flood.
Mm-hmm. Would make more sense.
It's not as if there isn't food for the blob to eat. No, we're just going to be shock and awe for the sake of it. Not in that, but you would have think, how did she turn into normal size for the blob to be eating her?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure when she got flooded, she was in her small size. So
yeah. And so, are you telling me, was she alive when the blob was eating her? Was she drowned when the blob was eating her? There's loads of questions here, but she looks pale and. Well, okay, she's still half Asian, right? But I don't know about the colouring of that. But she's looking kind of greyish as well. So I think, and her eyes are rolled. So she's definitely dead, right? I mean, imagine if he was eating her when she was alive, because that could have happened in this comic.
Yeah, but there's lots of things about this that's made no sense to me. Because I remember from reading the Blob in this universe.
Yeah.
It was never mentioned that he was a cannibal. So why all of a sudden is he a cannibal?
And I don't even think the Blob has to eat a lot. That's his mutation to be that size. It's not like he has to maintain it.
No.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Shock horror. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, if you say so.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And then, another thing that doesn't make any sense. So there's no X-Men in the expansion for some reason, right? Because Magneto just saunters in there and goes, "Charles, mate," and he's like in Charles's study, and it's like, all right. So you got no one backing you up, Charles. No one knows doing anything. You just have to be alone, even though you're in a school full of kids. I'm not saying they were there to fight Magneto or anything like that, but it's just how conveniently empty is your mansion.
It's not even that. It's like, why didn't he go with the X-Men to go and do what they're doing?
Yeah.
Like, I could buy it. Like, okay, maybe there are kids there and whatever. What they were going to do against Magneto? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's fine to show they're scared as well, right? But that's not the case. He's just like, nah, no kids exist here.
But I think at the moment there wasn't any kids at the school. If I remember correctly, something happened. There's no kids in their school anymore.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think they ended up going to the School of Tomorrow, run by Emma Frost.
Yeah.
And
to be fair, Xavier says that my X-Men are off retrieving the body of their dead friends. Yeah. But, like you're saying, it doesn't make any logic of why he would stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And him knowing that Magneto would probably come to him. Yeah.
It's different, though, if he's staying there because he's like, I'm going to try and talk you out of it. I deliberately chose to stay back. He's just like, nah, I'm just going to stay here because I need to get the next part of the story moving on.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah, they have a I want to say necessarily a polite chat, but a kind of semi-aggressive one.
Yeah. And
then Charles is like, "No, Magneto, no, yeah." He calls him Magneto. Don't call him Eric because you're murdering people. You're being a terrorist. You're not a good man, and you're gonna be remembered as a mass murderer. So, what is your logic?
Yeah.
And Magneto answers with this great reply. Grabs his head, snaps his neck. I'm like, all right, well, okay, you sure won the argument there, Magneto.
Yeah, like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I knew you were gonna stop me, so I had to kill you. I think what annoyed him was when he called him Hitler, especially.
Yeah, that's probably the one.
Yeah, he's
Well, but that's the thing. So you read the line as because Magneto says, "I knew when I came here tonight, this was inevitable." But so you're thinking. I thought he just basically decided he went there and he's thinking, all right, well, 9% I'm probably going to have to end up killing Charles anyways, right?
Yeah.
And it was not necessarily made up his mind to kill Charles, but he's like, you know what? That's not out of the realms of what I have to do.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then as soon as he mentioned that bit,
it's
like, ooh, you know how I feel about those Nazis, and
yeah.
And snap.
Geez.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then he's like, quite logically points out, Charles, you had a hand in all my failures up until this point, and now you're not here. Who can stop me? I'm like, all right, well,
got a point.
Yeah.
What does he? Yeah, he has a point.
Exactly. Then you see the issue 3. You see the face of the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Talking to Magneto.
Which is very bad taste, if I'm honest. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that's the funny thing, but it's just like it's out of order. It is what's happening is. So and Scarlet Witch is in her corset thong clothing.
Yeah, from the main universe, so that made no sense.
Slash the Ultimates universe, right?
Yeah,
in Ultimates 3,
wears it number. Yeah.
And Magneto is super muscular for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's like, Magneto, look at the stuff you've done for me. Like, you drowned all these people, you murdered Charles. You're like, all this in the sake of my name and Daddy. Right? And I was like, what? Ooh. First of all, she's dead. So is she a vision? What's going on here, right?
Yeah.
And then what's hilarious is Then Magneto then grabs Scarlet Witch's neck and says, "Do not try my patience." Right? Wanda and Petro's death was the only spark that lit the fuse.
Yeah.
And the Scarlet Witch turns into Mystique.
Yeah.
Well, turns back into Mystique, and I was like, Mystique, man.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that's
but it's just like, wow, you got no boundaries, Mystique. You got no tastefulness whatsoever. I don't even know what your game was just then. You're looking to die.
Like I was saying, it was a dick move. Like, why would you? Why?
yeah.
This guy's unhinged. You know that. So why are you doing it?
And she's like, I'm only having some fun, Eric. I'm like, you do realize, right? If he murdered you just then, he'd be in his full right to do that.
Yeah.
Because you're pushing too many buttons at that point. Like, you just dragging too much stuff. Trauma, you know?
Yeah. It made no sense.
Yeah. Especially since, by the way, she know that he murdered Xavier. So why are you going to try and... Well, you're going to do that? Because you're just going to try and make him murder you. It's like, Mystique.
Come on now.
Use your brain.
Stupid woman.
And then you got Madrox, the multiple man. Eric, you killed all these mutants. I shall blow you up because he's now a suicide bomber for some reason. But then again, to be fair, there's multiple of him, so he could just blow the one version of himself up, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, and Magneto says, "You're not even Madrox Prime, are you?"
He's like, no,
you've been. No, he goes, "You've been." Yeah, exactly. And he's like, "You've been hiding him for weeks, making him make duplicate after duplicate, and then now it stops." So somehow one of Madrox's duplicates decided to have
became sentient in a way.
Yeah. Which doesn't make any sense because I was like, if the rest of them are doing that, then you know why how is he being forced to do it? Why the one rogue one got away? That you know, it's just
they kind of touch upon it in Ultimate X-Men 98 or 99. One of them they kind of touch upon
one of the multiple ones.
Yeah.
Magneto, he says, so he's like threatening to blow himself up, and Magneto's like, yeah, sure, and he throws Thor's hammer, magnetically controlled Thor's hammer at Madrox, the multiple man's clone, and he goes flying outside the window, and then blows himself, blows up. Yeah, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, like Noah, like when God flooded the world, and only Noah survived. I am God. I shall be, and I'm like, wow, Magneto.
You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Mystique's like, I think I signed up for the wrong team.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Yeah, this guy. I don't even know why I pushed this button like 5 panels ago.
Yeah.
This guy's nuts, and I should leave probably.
Yeah. She's like, I'm too deep into this now. I might just ride it out.
Yeah. So then we get back to the Blob. Still, Blob looking horrible, by the way.
Yeah.
Giant Man grabs a Blob, even though the Blob's immovable when he wants to be. But he.
Actually, I don't know if he is in this universe, but
to be fair, he's like.
Yeah.
So then Giant Man, he's like, "Why did you do that?" And he goes, "Sorry." Blob says, "Sorry, pal, nothing personal." And he goes, "All right, well," and he just chomps his head off.
Yeah. You know. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Escalated quickly. Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah. And then he's like, "It'll be all right, Jan. It'll be all right," even though her guts are spilling out of her body.
Yeah, you know.
And the whole guy's like,
"You know she's dead, right?" Basically, he's like, "You know she's dead."
Hank Pym's like, "No, I can save you. I just need to get you repaired."
If I was getting back the shield, able to.
Well, you know.
I don't.
That's
the case.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, denial is a strong thing, right?
Yep.
But this man is also. This is the type of man who denies. Who is in denial from beating his own wife.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, the logic is perfectly there.
Sound. Yeah, sound.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Wolverine in the sewers finding the body of Nightcrawler.
Yeah. And then we go back upstairs. I say upstairs, back onto the surface where Cyclops is upset because obviously his friends are dead. And we have Angel weeping over Hank and Dazzler's body, saying that he's going to go fight Magneto. And then, like, dude, you're just one man. You ain't going to be able to do anything.
Yeah. Allison, by the way, being the real name of Dazzler.
Yep.
I can't remember her surname.
Alison Blair.
Yeah. Just in case, like, So yeah, you said Allison, and then you corrected to Dazzler, so it made it sound like you said the wrong person. But
yeah. And then so they're kind of just talking amongst themselves about what they're gonna do, and then Wolverine comes out with Nightcrawler's body, and he's like, "Yeah, we got to go and fight Magneto."
Yeah.
And Angel's like, "No, I'm not waiting for you guys." He tried to fly off, and Storm stops and is like, "Dude, I don't want to lose anyone else. Like, you need to stay here. We're gonna fight him. We're gonna fight him together." And then while that's happening, Jean Grey, which I noticed a costume error in this.
Yeah.
Or it's just weirdly done. She has like a little psychic kickback, and she's like, "Charles, he's dead," and they realize that Xavier's dead because Magneto killed him. Like, if you see when she's standing,
yeah.
Actually, no, it's just my bad. No, but her costume makes no sense while there's like gaps in the thigh.
Well,
actually, no. If you look,
I'm
looking. The panel where Iceman, Jean, Cyclops, and Angel are talking. Her legs are all black, like her trousers are all black, right? And then when you look to where she has like the psychic kickback thing, you see her legs are skin colored. There's a bit cut out.
Well, could we argue that she was in the shadows for that scene?
But like, even then, that costume design doesn't make any sense. But all right, sure.
Oh, the costume designs in the Ultimate Universe kind of made sense. They did make sense, and then they just stopped making sense.
Yeah.
I say that because people just tactical gear, fine, right? And if you modernize it, fine.
Yeah.
And some classic stuff like Ultimate Spider-Man, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four still looks fine as well.
Yeah, Fantastic Four ones look good. Yeah. I like that one. But some of it just like that make no sense.
Yeah, Ultimate X-Men. I was like, I don't know some of these costumes.
Because Ultimate X-Men ones as well, it was never consistent. Like I say, because I've read of it. Like sometimes their costumes will look like they would for like multiple issues. They don't look slightly different. Yeah, never made any.
Yeah. Sense. Oh, by the way, as well, I know we were on issue 3, and but who's the lady with the silver hair in issue 3 with the Madeline Pryor style costume? But that's not Madeline Pryor.
Issue 3.
Yeah.
Which bit?
Issue 3 with the Magneto cover. Right above Sabretooth.
Give me a second.
Right next to
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if that's meant to be Hela, because that's not Hela. I don't know. Yeah. Or Xerxes, or... I have no idea.
Yeah, just a random person, right?
Yeah. Because I think... Actually, no, I know who she is. Oh, what's her name? Alora?
Right. Is she in the comic? I don't remember.
She's in one, the X-Men one, and Wolverine kills her.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. I mean, I don't remember seeing her in the.
She's not in this whatsoever.
Yeah. Why then put the color?
Yeah, I don't know. Same with Black Panther. He's on one of the covers, but he's not in this whatsoever.
Even though Black Panther wasn't Black Panther.
No.
Yeah.
And Daredevil and Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, but Daredevil. He's.
Oh, we'll get to Doctor Strange in a minute, right?
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah. So the psychic backlash blew out the section of Jean's costume, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. So then we're back to Valhalla, where Cap and Thor are fighting the legions of like skeleton zombies.
Yeah.
And they basically win, and then Thor's like, "Hela, show yourself, I done what you said. You said if I beat all these people, she could return to Earth." And he's like, "Well," and Hela's like, well, I said one of you can go, but I didn't say all of you. And then Cap's like, "I'll stay, because I should technically be dead because, I'm 100 years old or whatever." And then Thor's like, I will think about this. I can't ask you to do that. And it kind of leaves a cliffhanger there. Well, not the issue, but their part of it. And then we see Iron Man back on the real world. Iron Man, Karen Danvers fighting lots of multiple men from getting into the Triskelion. And then Hawkeye comes and helps, so they're getting overwhelmed. And
he shoots a multiple man through the eye with an arrow that we get. And it's like, right, okay. Classic Marvel comics wouldn't have this level of... Well, okay, it'd be implied violence. Yeah, it'd probably be like some real back and then blood splatter, yeah? But it's like, Ultimates is just like, let's just show all. And it's just like, but...
Yeah, but Ultimates is aimed for teens plus, so I'll go right with that violence. It's fine. And they're all edgy. They're more like edgy versions of themselves. So I don't care.
Yeah.
Me personally. And then
I mean, I think it's one of those things where you just got used to it.
Yeah.
Not you. I mean, like the people when you're reading the Ultimate, you're like, all right, well, yeah. It don't shock me no more. It's just like, it is.
Okay, cool. And then Yellow Jacket gives Hank's body to Iron Man, saying,
you Jan's body.
Yeah. What did I say?
Hank's body.
Oh yeah,
he gave his own
Janet's body to Iron Man. Said, "Yeah, I've got what's that robot's name? Whatever. He's got a project that basically to make her into a cyborg. Jocasta, that's it. Basically, I think he wants to make her a cyborg. Can't remember if this comes back later on in the comics. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Iron Man's like, cool, but all those guys have got bombs. He goes, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So he gets all the multiple men to jump on him. And then he starts walking to the sea. And he's like, make sure you help Janet and bring her back to life. And Hawkeye's like, but dude, she's dead.
Yeah. And
then he walks into the river and then explodes because of all of the multiple men on him.
And which is like, okay, hold on a second, yeah? So all those multiple men decide, actually, we're going to stop going to spread about, do our mission. We're just going to jump on this one big guy? And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
How convenient.
All right. Plot convenience, isn't it? I was like, okay,
it's like, if you say so.
Yeah, not going to question it, I guess. Hold on.
Yeah.
And then Valkyrie wakes up, it's like, oh, where's Thor? And she gets a sword and Iron Man's like, oh, hey, you're still alive. She's like, I'm going to stab you. He's like, dude, calm down. What's going on? And she's like, oh, Thor's dead. He's like, nah, what are you talking about? Thor can't be dead. And she's like, yeah, he sacrificed himself for me. He's like, oh. And where's Cap? He's like, oh, Cap's been lying in there the whole time. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then Cap wakes up and it's like, Thor. And they're all standing there like, oh, you're back. And then Cap goes kind of mad. And then Hawkeye breaks him like, dude, Jan's dead. They're both dead, her and Yellow Jacket. And he goes, let's get to work, baby. Basically, he doesn't say no exact words, but you know,
it would have been much more entertaining if he did. By the way,
yeah. Then we get like a hero
Captain
shot
America.
of them all getting ready.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and then so all this time, apparently, Spider-Man and Hulk have been teaming up, and the Hulk decides, you know what, I'm just gonna go and smash the Sanctum Supreme, whatever it is.
Oh, Hulk, you missed that bit before that.
Sorry,
you missed that bit before that.
Oh, go on.
It's where Kitty Pryde is holding Spider-Man's mask because.
Wait, that's a bit after.
It's before. Because then it goes back to show you how they got to that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think that actually most of that happens in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, okay, that's why it's right. Yeah.
Not retcon it, kind of.
Yeah, well, they show roughly, like they didn't even show roughly. It's like, oh, Hulk smashed this bit, and then Kitty Pryde finds his mask later on here. But yes, there's a whole Ultimate Weapon, which will make a lot more sense because Hulk's here just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, Doctor Strange's house, I'm just gonna beat it up.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're sitting on a roof and Wolverine basically to like Kitty, you can't come because you need to be if the world has to start again, you're one of the good people that need to like help the world get to the right place.
Yeah.
And
wait. Okay. No, you skipped the chunk. You skipped a chunk.
I was gonna say where she gives him the box and says, "If I die, open this, and you'll know what to do." He's like,
but you skipped a chunk. You just skipped Doctor Strange getting killed.
Oh, that's in the book I got. That's afterwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll go by the one you got. Yeah, because mine before.
Yeah, because it goes that, and then there's a little box saying, Doctor House, Home of Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. This happens 4 hours earlier that night, and then it's the Hulk.
Okay. Yeah. Are you reading the comics or the trade paperback?
Trade paperback.
Oh, right.
I bought this. Why? I don't know. Yeah. I bought it because there's a couple of issues I didn't get, so I was like, let me just buy the whole thing. And
okay.
Cheap.
We'll go by the one you're reading. Maybe my digital version's got slightly different.
And then we see Spider-Man get like zapped away or something. He fades away. We don't actually know what happens, which is kind of told in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we see Dormammu, who gets released because of the Hulk smashing up the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm free. This is all great. And Doctor Strange's like, oh, for some reason as well, he has Johnny Storm in his amulet, which is explained in Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four, which I never actually got around to reading.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange's like, I'm gonna get Johnny out of there just because you have that.
No. He's it's stuff like that. But Johnny Storm's like, Strange is using my my power, my flame power, to enhance him. And Doctor Strange basically says, "Alas, Johnny Storm, it don't matter. It don't matter how powerful he is. I can still take him."
Yeah.
I'm like, right.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then this is where you find out in the Ultimate Universe, the Strangers were all like Sorcerer Supremes, I guess.
Yeah, a bit like how the Phantom is passed from child to child. Well, I don't say child, but because
which I kind of liked and didn't like at the same time. Reading, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then it's like, oh, but his original thing kind of made more sense to me. Well,
yeah.
All right, sure, whatever. So then Dormammu's like, haha, your powers don't work against natural flames, basically. And then he gets he has some like like belt wrapped around him, and he uses that to suffocate him and explode his head.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right. I mean,
I guess.
Yeah. Whatever,
Yeah, I was saying, I guess that makes sense.
And then Sue Storm and the Thing appear, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna rescue you, Johnny Storm. You get the hell away from my brother.
Yeah. And then I'm
guessing and
that gets concluded in Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and then you see a mysterious being go to Doctor Strange's body and teleport it out.
Yep.
Which, by the way, do you know what that is about?
Nope.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I do not. I do not.
Because I was thinking I have to go back and find this out at some point. Yeah. So then Hulk's making his way to the Triskelion, I think, and the army are chasing him, and he's like, I helped you guys. I don't know what you were doing. I'm trying to help the Magic Man. And then Cyclops shoots a warning shot and like, leave the Hulk alone. We need him because, he's one of the only things we have to help us fight.
Yeah, he's going to help us punch Magneto.
Yeah. ...
Yeah.
So then Hulk stops, and then Wolverine's like, hey, Hulk, you remember me? He's like, oh, yeah, I remember you. I split you in half, which was a book that took 5 years to come out.
Yeah. And which which inside it had a joke about how Star Trek coming out, the Star Trek to 2009.
Yeah.
And by the time that it finished, the film was over. Like Star Trek 2, it Strata Into Darkness come out by the time.
I don't think so.
Oh,
wait. No, I wouldn't have, because Ultimatum came out in 2009.
No, I meant between.
No, because I think Into Darkness didn't come out to like 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ultimate Wolverine versus Hulk actually finished before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think that started like 2005 and then finished in 2009, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I can't remember. It was something silly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so they make a joke, and then Wolverine's like, Jean kind of persuades the Hulk to be nicer, and then it's like, let's find Colossus.
Yeah.
And get our big boy. So, because the Hulk's naked, so they want to get Colossus. Because I reckon, for some reason, Wolverine thinks Colossus and Hulk are the same size. So they get
all right.
One's bigger than the other, but sure. Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're teleported to the Supreme Power Universe.
Yep.
Not their teleport. I mean, we go over to the Supreme Power Universe. Which, if they got this teleportation technology,
Yeah.
It's a bit okay.
Pick and choose.
Yeah. So then, they find Nick Fury outside the White House of the Supreme Power Universe, and he's like, "Oh, I was wondering when you jabronis would shown up." Doctor Doom, Reed Richards.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Okay, well, Reed's like, Nick, you got to come back with us. It's Victor's idea." And he's like, nah, I don't actually got to come back with you to do anything, actually. Zara then decides to punch Nick Fury's card and says, I don't recall asking.
Yeah, like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, and he's like, yeah, what's the lowdown? And Reed Richards says, oh, Magneto's too to Earth's access to, the tidal wave and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Ugh.
He's like, you took me out of the equation and look what happened. So it's actually all on your own fault.
Yeah.
And so, but I'll come back and clean your mess because, that's how I do.
Yeah, and this is where Victor kind of said, yeah, I was the one who killed Scarlet Witch, and I didn't think Magneto was going to go this crazy. Like,
yeah.
How do you not think that? You killed his child, you idiot.
I made an error in judgment.
Yeah, like, killing someone's
child. So then Reed's like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to crush you to death, Dr. Doom. And Zarda's about to crush the skull, and Nick Fury's like, he has a gunshot, he does a gunshot, and he goes, look, if we wanted him to be dead, he'd be dead. All right, now let's just go home. And they teleport them back.
Yeah.
And I'm like reading all this, I'm like, Dr. Doom, man.
Yeah.
But then I have to remind myself that's not Dr. Doom, that's Mary Storm.
But I'm pretty sure he's controlling her, right?
Well, I don't know exactly what the deal is because I probably at the time
it wouldn't make any sense why she's acting like this then.
Yeah, well, I think at the time they were writing it as though it was Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
And then they had to go and fix it because they realized, they can't be because he's supposed to be somewhere else. Even though later on in Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales, Dr. Doom does come back.
Yeah.
A lot of things are... I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, I don't know how much care they had for the Ultimate Universe, but this was what, not even 10 years old at this point?
No, it's coming up to like 9 years at the point, I think.
Yeah, it's like, how did you make an utter mess out of everything already?
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, makes no sense.
I mean, I think the whole point was to make it more streamlined, but yeah, it was that...
Everything starts off that way, but never going that way. Like, the New 52, for example, that's a prime example there as well.
Yeah. So everyone flies off to Magneto Citadel. Not Asteroid M, right?
Sorry.
Just a floating island?
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. He's like, oh, look, all just here to come to die. And then Angel somehow flies in and punches him across the face.
Yep.
Even though Magneto's like, it's like, okay, so the windows are in front of Magneto. Okay. No, I think he must have came from the sky above.
Yeah, it must have, yeah.
So I was like, if he's looking out the window, how did he... Oh, here they are. And then he's like got ambushed from the other side. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, Sabretooth, he's yours. And then Sabretooth just like murders him.
Yeah. Stomps on his neck, right?
Yep.
Slashes his wings apart, stomps on his neck, and he's like, yeah. And if he said, because he's biting on his wings, and if Sabretooth there said, oh yeah, chase like chicken, I'd have clapped that joke.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to hell for murdering an angel. Basically, it's a joke he kind of makes. Because I'm going to hell for sure. Before he finished that sentence, he gets shot in the eye by Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Well,
you were going to say Bullseye, but at this point, Ultimate Hawkeye is basically...
the same person.
Yeah.
And then Magneto's running away.
Yeah, but which is really strange because you're like, right, this man, he knows that it'll come for him, right? I assume he'd just make his final stand then, yeah?
Yeah.
Nah, he's just like, oh, I'm just gonna actually run away from Angel. Well, Angel of the X-Men? Well,
yeah. People, yeah.
Yeah. And Hawkeye? I mean, Anyways, he's running off, right? Valkyrie's there, standing in front of him, very, I want Magneto. I want Thor's hammer. And I was like in my head, yeah, more ways than one, right.
In the window. Yeah.
Especially with the way that she's standing and how she's dressed, I'm like, I can't even take you seriously.
Nope.
Especially knowing her backstory as well, that she's supposed to be the Valkyrie from Ultimates 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, but she was a dizzy blonde there who didn't have powers. And then it also was free all of a sudden.
Powers or something, some
rubbish. All of a sudden, she got bulked up, and then a specific body part bulked up even more.
Yeah.
Right.
No, she gets if I remember correctly, does she get a boob job?
Well, I don't think she says, right? But
No,
clearly she must do.
In something, they imply she does.
Yeah.
And I think it's like one of those like side books or whatever. I can't remember.
So Magneto's about to swing the hammer out. Oh yeah, you want Thor's hammer? Take it. She slices his arm off.
Yeah.
And then he's like, back off, woman. And he slashes her with he uses that sword to slash her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Magneto, I don't get the logic of why you get so close. Like, yeah, she's got a big long sword. You got a smaller hammer. I don't see why you would go and try to fight her hand to hand like that.
Because at the moment he's not thinking straight. He's thinking out of rage rather than.
Yeah. But then if he was thinking out of rage, he'd have probably he should have grabbed her. Like, she's wearing metal on her belt buckle. Should have just thrown it out the window or something like that.
Yeah.
No, but then the plot has to move forward in a particular way. So
yeah.
Captain America then smacks Magneto from behind his head, kicks him in the neck as well.
Yep.
Which probably would have given him whiplash and actually broke his neck. But yeah. But he's like, all right, well, enough. It causes the rubble to fall down on Captain America. Magneto then flies off, right? Instead of running off or sneaking off, he actually flies off. It's like, okay, you could have just done this 2 pages ago.
Yeah, he could have done the beginning. And he's like,
and then he's using
Xavier. They still resist. I'm like, well, of course.
And somehow he uses his magnetism to tie up his bleeding lost arm. And I'm like, wow, even Riccio didn't even do this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so you can use the metals to cauterize a wound. No, not even cauterize. He just basically, I don't know what he does to it because it's like he got the flesh of it, and
unless he's the iron in his blood, he's hardening to make it. I don't know.
Yeah, if they explain that logic, right, I will. Yes, it's fancy. I could, yeah. But then it's just like, no, he could just manipulate blood into a stump, and his costume as well, his fabric, and like, I don't. Yeah.
Is it fabric? We don't actually know.
Yeah. And then he flies. He just magically flies towards the flies towards everyone else he ran away from. Unless you're going to say
they're coming from a different place.
Yeah, but no, Hawkeye's there.
Yeah. But they've come from a different. I'm guessing they met up and come from a different place. I don't know.
I don't know. Either he decided that, you know what, final stand, I'm just going to fly back to him, or they just happened to run in the direction that he was flying in because he got stalled by Valkyrie and Captain America. Fair enough. And he goes, all right, fine. I shall destroy you all. Like, Yeah. This is the end for all of us.
Well, for some of them.
Yeah. But the way that Magneto is making like his final stand, right?
Yeah.
He's like, all right, well, yeah. Time to finish this once and for all.
Yeah.
Now we're on to
issue 5, where Wolverine's like, basically, you're gonna die for everything you've done because you killed so many people, and you're not going any further. So Wolverine lunges at him, slices him, and saying, "You've killed millions of people. You murdered my friends. You killed Charles." And then he's going for him, and Jean's like, "Scott, if we don't stop him, Wolverine's gonna kill him." And then Scott's like, "Maybe that's got to be done, because you can't like,
I'm going to say Scott's logic, by the way. I'm going to defend his logic here and say that Xavier just got killed. He just found out Xavier dead, and he's like, I'm going to avenge the man who looked after me like a dad." But I don't know about that specifically in the Ultimate Universe.
Oh, don't get started on that witness, because we'll come to that in a bit. Yeah, and he's like, oh, so he's saying, "You think you're God? I'll show you gods can die."
Yeah.
So he's about to like stab him, and Magneto finally uses his magnetic powers and throws him away.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're just an animal, nothing more than that. You honestly think you can believe you can stop me? You can't even stop yourselves." Open visor, and an Iron Man. And why he's doing this, using magnetic powers obviously to lift up Cyclops' visor and to somehow control Iron Man's suit, which kind of makes sense but doesn't. But whatever.
Yeah, well, the Iron Man suit, okay, fair enough, right?
Yeah.
But Cyclops, you can't close your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow between the two of them, like, melt Wolverine's skin.
Yep.
Kind of. But I don't, I mean, unless Magneto's like maxed out repulsor rays, because they don't do that much damage, and Cyclops' force beams are like they punch things like essentially. They're not heat vision.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Unless you're saying the two beams combined cause that damage.
That's how I took it.
Yeah.
When I was being okay, cool.
Yeah. Like when Ghostbusters cross the stream and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
So then Hawkeye shoots off Cyclops' visor, and Jean's like, "Dude, stop!" It's like, "Oh, get out of my head, lady. I was only ceasing your stopping boyfriend from doing it." It's like you could have not used an arrow. That's a bit much, but sure. Yeah. So then Storm uses her lightning to turn off Tony's suit, and then Magneto's standing over like Wolverine's smoking skeleton, and he's like, despise the mongrel instinct to survive, it's too late. Yeah, you killed Wolverine, saying he thinks that what they did killed him. Wolverine's like, not yet. Shanks him through the chest.
Yeah.
And then
I'm like, wait, that's what you get for gloating, by the way. But at what logic would you be, by the way, if your powers are kind of you could do something from a distance? Why are you going to walk close to someone?
Because he's cocky. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just like not necessarily. Okay, the one guy who doesn't have ranged powers decides to fight Magneto, and everyone else with ranged powers just stands there and go, yeah. We're gonna watch this. We're just gonna kind of, for some reason, we're outside the peripheral, like the stuff that happens in the ring happens. If you're outside the ring, you don't exist. Apparently.
Yeah. Okay. And then he's like, and time to die, and like literally pulls off all the metal adamantium off of Wolverine's skeleton, which leaves nothing. So Wolverine is.
Yeah. Now, I was going to say, I don't know if you've read Fatal Attraction. I haven't read it, but I know about it. Where
I've read bits of it.
Yeah, Magneto pulls the metal out of Wolverine's skeleton.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I get the logic of that. He can heal or whatever. Here, I think there's kind of meant to be like that, but not really. I mean, I think they took inspiration of it.
Yeah.
That bit, anyways.
Yeah.
But the logic of like Magneto, they at least pointed out in that you've got a metal skeleton and you're going to fight me. Yeah. You are an idiot, right?
Yeah.
Here he's like, yeah, you know what? For some reason you're coated in metal, but I'm just gonna let you talk to me and let you fight me, but I'm not gonna do anything about it until the very end. All right, you know. He could have done this at the beginning, by the way. He could have done this instead. Could have shoved off the X-Men, and everything like that. Grabbed Wolverine and just done this.
But it's not compelling, you know. For compelling sakes.
Oh, well, to be fair, it'd be logical, but none of this Ultimates is based on logic.
No, that's the whole point of it. And then so we zoom out and we see the Hulk and Colossus destroying the, I want to say, engines that keeps this place floating.
Yeah.
And then Mystique comes and tries to like, I'm going to try and stop you guys. So she has like a flamethrower gun and tries to burn Hulk and Colossus. And then it's like, you're trying to burn two. The most people you can't burn, you know. One's made out of metal, one literally regenerates like that. So it's a bit stupid. So then Colossus is about to fight her, and then Sabretooth is in there, and he's like, nope, you got time to go, you come with me. So he grabs her, and meanwhile, there's like a self-destruct. I think like she planted a bomb or something, I don't really know. Because there's like a timer for a bomb, so I'm guessing one of them planted it or something. So then they jump out on a power glider, and Mystique is like, oh, where's Magneto? And Sabretooth's like, I don't know. We gotta go, it doesn't matter. So then they leave, the place explodes. And then we see Magneto crawl into his throne, like, damn you, Logan. I've killed every last part of you, even to your blood, down to the blood cells. And you're a maggot, but I win. And then Nick Fury comes like, nah, you screwed up, dude, you know. I'm here to make it right. I'm going to tell you what happened.
But let me point out as well, as he's crawling to his throne room, like, so there's a whole bunch of people surrounding you, and they just let you crawl over there? Because did they just watch you? They were like, all right, Wolverine got blasted to bits, and we see his skeleton thing. And then Magneto's crawling for ages on his blood, and we're like, I'm just going to sit here and watch him do that?
No, I don't think that. They're still mourning the loss of Wolverine, isn't it? So they're not...
But here's the thing. Nick Fury appears, and then behind Nick Fury, there's the rest. Oh yeah, that's not them. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
sorry.
not them.
For some reason, I thought Reed Richards were with them. I was like, actually, no, you're right.
No.
But that just means they're still over there.
Yeah, still somewhere. Yeah. So then,
and they just let like that massive blood trail of Magneto just crawl away. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Nick Fury's like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm gonna tell you a secret that will make your world collapse, because you know it is what it is, and this is where the mutant part of the Ultimate Universe bit falls apart for me. So yeah. Even though I kind of found out this, no, because I read the X-Men bit afterwards where they explained all the mutants bits. Like, oh, that's stupid. So then it's like, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Jean Grey, come here, and Jean Grey's like, okay, Fury has a few things, some secrets to tell you. So then Magneto's lying there dying, like, haha, no, I've won. You can't. He says this. This is his words, not mine. You think you can rape my brain? I was like, oh wow, that's a bit extreme. It's like Xavier tried and failed. It's like, well, I didn't come all the way to change your mind. I'm just gonna offload some truth bombs on you.
Yeah.
So then this is where you find out that mutants were actually created by the government to be weapons. And all along, you guys are still humans. You're not like some miracle of God. You were created in a lab. That's ugly truth. And then that's when Manny was like, wait, no. So I am nothing special. I'm a mutant. Oh, no. This all sucks.
Yeah. So at this point, by the way, because he's having a mental breakdown. Yeah. But we're going to take a pause for a second so I can ask you. You said this is where the mutant universe of the ultimate mutant universe starts breaking down for you. Explain that, because I think I'm going to back you up somewhere as well.
Like, it's stupid.
Okay, but wait. The idea, okay,
because it kind of contradicts bits as well later on.
Yeah,
which I guess then they kind of retcon with this, because like basically, Wolverine in this universe is the first mutant because they used him to make the mutants, and he escaped from the lab. And then I don't know how that awaits other mutant people's powers like Xavier's and Magneto.
I think the logic, if I'm applying it correctly, is they try to use Wolverine's DNA to create the super soldier serum. And then, but between all the experiments they had that died or got nullified or whatever, and they just let them out or they escaped or whatever, and then they start breeding, and then you start having all the mutants and stuff like that. That's how I'm like. That's how I applied the logic, because like you're saying, if it's just, unless Wolverine's got loads of kids, which he does actually, but you know.
Yeah, well, not in this universe. Yeah. Actually, in this universe, all the kids. I'll say afterwards. But it kind of, it makes no sense, because if I remember correctly, reading, I could be wrong with this. Yeah. Xavier and Magneto were there when they were creating these mutants.
Wow.
So how, you know what I mean? It doesn't. Again, I could be wrong.
Yeah, and I also can't remember exactly straight, but I knew that according to this, in some of the Ultimate X-Men stories, there were mutants that appeared before World War II, wherever they started trying to make the super soldier, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, Apocalypse is meant to be X amount of years old.
Well, in this one, Apocalypse is like some weird god as well. That's what I'm saying. It makes no...
Yeah, they existed before. You know, there's existence of mutants before. So it doesn't... It's like... I like the idea, by the way, of... Yeah. Oh, you know what, this is the ultimate reveal. You guys were created by humans, yeah?
Yeah.
And that would shock Magneto into, like, a mental breakdown, which he was already on the verge of anyways, yeah?
Yeah.
I get that. But you didn't tidy up your story beforehand to make it all make sense. It's just like, this is a reveal for the sake of it. Rather than, actually, you know what? That's quite a good twist.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know, it's just that it's just like it didn't make sense, which then makes it think like this is trash.
Yep. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And then Magneto's like, "What have I done?" Even though he's bleeding out from it, he's bleeding out from the chest from where Wolverine stabbed him, and his arm that is not attached is somehow not bleeding out. Amazing. And then he says, "What have I done?" And then Reed's like, "You shifted the magnetic poles. You fix them. You fix them right now." I don't know. He's like Magneto's dying, right? But he's dying, so he's probably at maximum power when he did it, right?
Yeah.
And he's like dying now, and Reed goes, and he says, Magneto says, I don't know if I can find your strength, and Reed just points a finger at him like Vin Diesel having a go at Cypher.
Yeah.
You find it.
And he's like, ugh, it's done.
Yeah. I can't undo the damage, but the danger's past. And then you see a hand, right? Cyclops' hand. And let me help you, Eric. Just like Charles helped you all those years. And Magneto's like, Charles, yes, Charles will understand. Charles will give me. And he's like,
nah.
Cyclops, Charles. Yeah.
Nah,
go on,
dog.
you.
Yeah. Like, nah, dog. No one would ever forgive you, and just blows his face off. Like,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that is.
All right.
And you see, like, literally, like, pieces of his face just like disintegrating. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
That's not cool, man.
I was like, all right, I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't not make sense.
No.
But it's just like, wow, that's extreme. But then again, that's just see. Sometimes you gotta. I just gotta divorce my entire thought of there's an universe of Marvel that existed before this.
Yeah.
And the characters here aren't the characters there.
No.
Whatsoever.
Yeah, that's why, for me, like, it's kind of easy to be like, yeah, two different things, so I can like detach from that. But I get for someone like you, yeah, it's like
no, but it's not that. It's just like because these people make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
And they jump to make
Stupid
like
conclusions.
irrational things that happen. Yeah. You know, it's like why did Magneto? Oh yeah, okay. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna tilt the axis of the Earth and what I might die on it as well. But no, you know. All right.
Yeah.
It's like it's one thing if he says I don't care if I die as well, and you know, oh yeah, people are just gonna blob. I'm just gonna eat. You know. Anyways, we're getting to the end of it, so we could have.
Have a little rant on.
So then the 8 days later, outside the White House, everyone's like.
Also, wait, they leave the Citadel because it's fallen to to the sea, and then we see Wolverine's leftover arm, which was impaled in Magneto's chest, fall to the sea and just disintegrate. Well, we think it disintegrates. We don't actually know. It comes back later, that arm, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Oh right. What does it come back to?
It comes back in, I think, Ultimate Comics X-Men. That arm comes back. Kitty Pryde has it to do something. She tries to think she wants to clone Wolverine to bring it back, but then she decides not to, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no more mutants. Like so, outside the White House, they're like, "Oh, we hate mutant scum and all that stuff because of what Magneto did."
Yeah. Which is a bit
conveniently forgetting. Well, I guess Nick Fury just never told people. Oh, by the way, we experimented on all these poor people. Now we're just gonna wipe that bit out.
Yeah. Or say, you know what? Doom had something to do with this as well. So you know.
Yeah.
Just wipe that under the table. No one will care.
No. We'll blame the mutants. Yeah. That guy. Yeah, that's right. And Cyclops is outside the White House with on the podium. He's like, look, right, we them evil mutants that did that stuff, right? We are not them. We've got to work together for. Honestly, Charles' dream because it doesn't say that, but you know, he's trying to work it. The mutants are and humans in harmony. He's like, look, some people have done bad things, yes, but that's not every single one of us. You can't just make assumptions based on whatever. However, we are trying to help, and then, all mutants must surrender themselves to the United States government, or they will be hunted down and shot on sight.
Yeah, like that's a bit extreme, you know.
Yeah,
right, cool.
Yeah, but I think at this point he's like, look, we could either go. You know how like Cyclops went extreme in classic X-Men universe.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it's like a lower level of that. It's like, look, if we work with the government right now, we can have our own
the thing. Yeah,
we could be here. They can oversee us or whatever, right? Whatever we have to do, yeah. But as long as they're not being hunted and being pelted at from humans gonna do those things against people that they hate. So if mutants come over here, yes. If you're not, you could get arrested, right? But you could actually die because the humans will kill you. So that's actually like less of a two evils. So, anyways, he's talking about this gunshot. His head explodes. Like, well, okay.
Yeah. Oh wow. And then Kitty Pryde and Iceman are in the crowd going, "We got to help Scott," and they get separated because he's there. Iceman's meant to be there to help protect Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
But then he gets separated, and Kitty's like, "I don't know what to do. I'm all left alone."
Yeah, and then there's a white streak
yeah.
bursting through the crowd.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then we're back to Latveria where, quote unquote, Doom's sitting on the throne saying, well, at least I have. It's all went to crap, but at least I have a prisoner. And you see Namor in a tank, and he's looking like, well.
Funny enough, by the way, Namor was in the first storyline that Mary Storm appeared in. So, you know what? Nefarious reasons, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Repopulate Earth, whatever, yeah. So then, so then that's happening, and then someone knocks on the door. Well, say someone walks through the door, and Doom thinks it's Reed.
No, Doom says, "How did you get in here?" And it's like, he walks through a door. What do you mean?
Yeah, because Reed told me you'd be here, pushing Magneto's buttons, and you killing his daughter. Basically, you started all this, and now you're gonna pay for it. And he's like, "How dare you?" So he shoots a beam at this person, burns her full of clothes, and it's the thing. He's like, Vicky boy, look what you did. I'm here to do something that Reed wouldn't dare do at the moment because. So then he walks up to Doom and crushes his head.
Her head. But his head, but now we know it's her. Yeah. And he basically just murdered. So he's gonna later on. Things gonna get with Sue Storm. So he just murdered his. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And Namor's just standing there watching, like, oh, okay, that's gross. Even though I've probably done worse myself. Hey.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we're back to Wondagore, you know, and we see someone holding a bullet saying it's done. Cyclops has been assassinated, you know, I pushed the bullet right through his brain. The same bullet that killed Scarlet Witch. Irony there, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then we see a hand touch Magneto's helmet, which I guess they took a souvenir from something.
Something somewhere, yeah. Well, maybe he just ran and took it, you know?
Yeah, probably. And then we see Quicksilver holding Magneto's helmet saying, well, someone's talking to him saying, good job, Pietro. Now we can move forward with a better world, basically. He's like, well, it's gone as you planned. Basically, he's implying that he was a part of all this.
Yeah.
So
and now he's got
Doom, I guess. Which
yeah, and he's wearing Magneto-colored costume.
Yeah.
Now this is where the story ends.
Yeah.
Now I can't remember who that lady was in the shadows.
I think because I was watching, it's like I can't remember either. Even though I've read everything after this, I can't remember.
Yeah,
actually, it's Scarlet Witch, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I think I thought also it was Scarlet Witch, but I think I'm getting a bit mixed up when. Well, it's not Scarlet Witch, right? It's a vision of Scarlet Witch.
I know now. I remember who it is. It's their mum.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we go further and we find out that Wolverine is actually Scarlet Witch's dad, but not Pietro's dad.
Okay. That I did not know, by the way.
Yeah. And then Jimmy Hudson.
Yeah.
The next Wolverine has the same mum as them.
Oh, this is all in Ultimate X, right?
Yeah, Ultimate X, and then everything going off at like Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Comics X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. That's pretty cool.
Right. So yeah, I mean, look, this story is the equivalent of your girlfriend that you broke up with, that she decided to burn your house and car down.
Yeah. Because like in hindsight, like reading it itself, it's kind of all over the place. But then when you read the tie-ins, it's not that bad.
No, because
like the tie-ins kind of provide lots of information. Like you find out that the multiple man is actually some kid trapped away somewhere who has no idea what's going on, and Wolverine goes to kill that kid to stop all the multiple men. You're like, oh, that's a bit messed up.
You know what? I feel like the parts that should have been in this were in Requiem, and this was just to be like, let's just cause as much destruction as possible.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing though, by the way, to say, okay, we're going to reset the Ultimate Universe, or not necessarily reset. We're just going to start from a certain point because it's gotten Like, we need to do a bit of cleanup. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But what is with the shock and awe that's happening in this? You know.
Yeah. Because like
that's what it is.
A lot of like even before it kind of shows why Nightcrawler and all that are in a city or that stuff. Yeah. It shows why and how they died, and then you got like what Rogue's doing during this, what Emma Frost's academy are doing, where they all get wiped out by the multiple men and killed, and Havoc's the only one that survives. Yeah, it's like I said, like there's a lot that goes on that is not touched upon, and
what is touched upon is a bit. It's just like, we just come here to kill Magneto.
Yeah, basically,
and it takes all of us for some reason, and Magneto's not even. Magneto's just like, I'm just gonna not even use my powers. Yeah, just bare minimum. All right.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because like,
and it's not as if.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say you.
No, because I was gonna say like it even shows a bit with like Rogue's getting help with this universe's Juggernaut who gets killed. Yeah, it's a lot goes on in like the tie-ins. What makes the story a lot better, like makes the story more epic. If you're reading it by itself, like this is kind of weird.
It's just like, all right, so Magneto. The finale of this, the final fight in this comic is like, even though there's a whole bunch of X-Men and Ultimates and whatnot to fight you, you're just gonna Wolverine's sat front and center. And it's like, but this is the guy who can do the least against Magneto.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, we're gonna fight Magneto, but we're not gonna take any precautions whatsoever to go and fight anything that like demagnetize whatever. No. We're just gonna run in and fight. I'm not gonna concuss him. Use splash bombs or no advantage. You're just gonna run in there. Yeah, try and punch him.
Because even in the Ultimate X-Men one that ties into this well, it shows what happens to like Captain Britain, Captain Spain, and all that. They get killed. Yeah. Then like there's lots of stuff they just don't touch upon, which is even like the whole how they get Johnny Storm out of Dunamu is shown in the Fantastic Four tie-in. So it's a real crap show. If I'm
yes. Yeah. Especially with the So what's gonna get eaten? All right, I'm gonna bite the head of the blob. All right, people are gonna get shot in the eye, and the heads are gonna explode. And you're like, all right, okay. You know, I mean, like you had a flood. All these people could have just drowned in that.
Yeah, which would have made.
No, I'm not saying. Oh wait, but that flood did cover a lot of the world. You know, so if 9% of the people like who are gonna die in this comic died there, I'd be like, all right, it actually makes sense.
But it's all a mess. That's what I'm saying, but it's all a mess. And it shows how. It's just.
I just feel like so much of it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how much the comic was necessary itself, right? No. However, as a follow-up to Ultimates 3, you can say it was a perfect follow-up.
Yeah. Like.
Because it does exactly what Ultimates 3 does, but in the next level of nuttiness.
If that,
yeah, that's what I get the feeling that they decide.
Even for this, like, I feel like this had more of a purpose than Ultimates 3, because Ultimates 3 just doesn't.
Ultimates 3 was like a prequel to this, but like that one episode prequel to the movie, yeah, or that 10-minute web movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Which looks really good because there's really good art in Ultimates 3, except that things just don't make sense though because they don't look like Ultimate versions or whatever
at all.
Here's a lot of things went wrong, and I agree that the Ultimate Universe kind of went downhill from here, and I just could never recover.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like well, at this point, it broke both the kneecaps of the Ultimate Universe and told it to run.
Yeah, basically. He's like, oh wow, this is where we're going. Cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't really say much more about it other than it exists. Mm-hmm. You said, by the way, you read this once every couple of years.
Say again?
You said that you read this once every couple of years.
Yeah,
or
just
right?
to see why this is a thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know why I do it. It just
Do you do it to punish yourself?
maybe. Like I keep hoping, like maybe I'll find something. But like, don't get me wrong. Every time I read it, I find out something new. Like, okay, I didn't notice that the first time.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, why is this even a thing?
All right. So with this going to okay, if you had a bunch of comics to show someone, right, to turn them off comics forever.
Yeah, this would be it. No, actually, not even this. This wouldn't be in it. Ultimate's 3 would be in it because that's just terrible.
Would you also throw Spider-Man Since Past in there?
No, because I didn't have a problem with Since Past.
Since
I'm one
Past
of the few
with
people that doesn't have a problem with it.
okay.
Since
Past being
go on.
sorry. Since Past being the one where Gwen Stacy and Norman Osborn got it on, but then way later, about 10 years later, they retconned that to say that didn't happen. 20 years later, right?
Yeah.
So one of the Spider-Man writers 20 years later, because he held on to it for so long, he's like, I have to become a writer just to retcon this.
Yeah, nah, I think this
so it inspired people, at least.
Yeah, as I'm saying, something good come out of that. This just...
Yeah, I'd probably lump... What's it called? Dark Knight 2. Dark Knight Returns, the sequel to Dark Knight Returns. One of the things that
terrible.
I've read that's terrible. What's the other one? Spider-Man the Other. that Moreland storyline, which was just there to make Spider-Man get killed and then come back, and then it's just like, what? None of this makes sense.
Nothing for me though. I felt like they done that to kind of tie in to make a way for him to have organic web shooters, but this makes you could have done it easily.
Yeah, the thing is like when you read it, like in the Spider-Verse later on, they make the Inheritors actually something. Yeah. Whereas there's like Moreland just come back. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pop Spider-Man's eye and eat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Love is like, okay, I suppose. Question.
Yeah, and I had some other comic book storyline that I remember that was really terrible as well, and I was like, why am I reading this trash? It's fell out the top of my head now.
Same. I think of one. It's like it was a DC one, but I legit at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah. Some of these things led to good things which get retconned back and then stuff like that. Yeah. But yes, other things are like, oh, people slate the Clone Saga, right? And I think the only problem with the Clone Saga,
it's too long.
Yeah, it was too long because they had to stretch it out. And then it's like, if they tidied it up, then it'd be readable. I just think it dragged on, and then people didn't know what they were doing with that, writing it. So then it kept on going round and round in circles, and that's why people disliked it. I like Ben Reilly, actually, Scarlet Spider. I don't know why they're just trying to do a smear job on him so much, right? But so he got lumped in with all the badness of that as well, so they decided to kill him off. But yeah, I don't think the Clone Saga stuff wasn't badly written, but it was. It was just like they didn't have an end game, so they didn't know what they were doing, and they just kept on spinning their wheels.
Yeah. I kind of feel like with this,
it
was like, you know what, we got not a reboot, but like a relaunch coming up. Make this like an action movie, just balls to the walls, and we'll just start anew from afterwards. And for that, like, you think about it, for like end of a saga thing, this kind of fits in. Like, boom, end of a saga. We're gonna start anew.
That's like what this is. Like you're saying is, if it's a TV series and if you're on series 5 or something, you're like, well, okay, cast contracts have come up, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to pay them X amount more. Now let's just wipe out the entire cast, and then continue the story on with a whole set of new people. Yeah. Which is like, all right, fair enough, but
it works, but
yeah. It's just like
the smartest way to go about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But do you reckon? Okay, you're saying I think the Ultimate Avengers related stuff after this,
it's good.
Made more sense.
Yeah.
Would you say there was it was better? Okay, I'd say the Ultimate stuff was toned down from what the Ultimates was after this.
I'll say that, and it came more like focused. Like, okay, we need to get to this bit, and all these books gonna help us get there. So I was like, that makes all sense.
Yeah, but
like,
they made such a mess of it.
Kind of
I think this. Sorry. I think this ultimatum just turned so many people off because they were like, Marvel they didn't care. They straight up do not care. Why? You know, why should I bother buying the books?
Yeah, for me, it was like, oh, I want to see what's going to happen next, and well, okay.
And it did kind of, I don't know, it did do better.
Yeah.
But the problem is they hobbled themselves so much they could never backtrack.
Yeah, I'll give them that. Yeah.
Like, because was it what
nuts?
Yeah. Was it the Ultimate Red Skull story arc, the first one after this?
I believe so. Yeah.
And then you had New Ultimates as well.
Yeah.
Which was not bad either. But Gregory Stark.
Yeah. Iron Man's brother. Yeah. That stuff. Yeah, I remember that, man. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it wasn't. Look. Okay. Would you, story-wise, just going by stories, not going by reception of how people thought of the stories afterwards. But would you say the stories in the Ultimate Universe, as far as the Ultimates are concerned, because I just read the Ultimates, but you can let me know about X-Men and Fantastic Four. Were they better after Ultimatum or pre-Ultimatum?
Because after this, they didn't come till afterwards because you had all that lead up to Death of Spider-Man, and then they had another relaunch sort of, which was Ultimate Comics, Ultimate Spider-Man, and what stuff. That stuff was good as well because it all leads on to bringing the newer heroes. So yeah, I think after all this, it got good because they went with like lesser known writers who had like more storytelling abilities. Not saying like Mark Miller and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah. I think they gave it to a bunch of people who had stuff to prove. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as in you new talent. You're like, all right, well, you're gonna have to do good, otherwise, it's not gonna work out.
And it's like, yeah, this is more world building rather than like big set pieces sort of thing. So that it got better in my opinion. You had Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. That's when Miles Morales took over properly.
Yeah.
Then you had Ultimate Comics X-Men, which was really good. Yeah. And I can't remember what the other one was. There was another one, but I think it was Ultimate Comics Avengers.
Right.
That was pretty good. Yeah. That was great. I like them all.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But that concludes the Ultimates run of Ultimate Comics.
Yeah. So we move on to the other ones.
Well, look. Okay, so let me just ask you your rate. Like, would you say to people read Ultimate Avengers? Ultimates. Oh, sorry. They're called the Ultimates. Would you tell people to read the Ultimates?
Yeah.
I'd say it's an intriguing read. First of all, because it's it's a product of its time, right? And it's a lot over the top. However, if you want to compare it to the Avengers movie and see how much influence that was, it's intriguing. Ultimates 2 is a bit more toned down and a bit more
grand scale, but it's,
yeah. And also is a lot of cliffhangers on the end of an issue, so you're intrigued to read more and more and more.
Yeah.
Because it was like the tone is set, but this kind of lessens the outrageousness of the tone.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
You think that the A on my head stands for France or something like that. Yeah. Like, Ultimate 3. You're like throw it in the fire and burn it.
No, I'll say if you want to see comic book insanity, read that because it is
okay.
It is insanity. It's like why?
Yeah. And Ultimatum, what'd you say?
Yeah, I'll say read it. Again, I get some enjoyment out of it, just the craziness of it all. Oh, okay.
Now, like I always said, I like B movies and slasher films and stuff like that. If this was a B movie, I don't even know if I'd watch it again and again. But I will say this, right? The tone of all these comics kind of, when you read it together, it doesn't. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of consistent as well.
Yeah.
Right. Read this in a vacuum, right? And you're like,
what is this?
yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait till you start reading Ultimate Avengers 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Got the Vampire War to look forward to, dude. That's amazing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, which oh my goodness. Which had Ultimate Daredevil in for like a fraction of a second.
Yeah. And then you had the new Wasp and the Hulk's teacher who taught him. Yeah.
Tyrone Cash.
Yep.
All right. You know what? I was gonna say maybe we conclude our Ultimates run there, but actually there's stuff from Ultimate Avengers. Yep, that's what this one is. Yep. Not New Ultimates, but Ultimate Avengers. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Actually, you know what? There is stuff to cover from that, so we're just gonna have to continue.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, jeez.
And then you got the vampire Spider-Man. It's all great, man.
The Korean vampire Spider-Man, right?
Yep. Who I thought was the Spider-Man was going to kill, but then they end up killing Peter Parker. Like, oh, okay. That's weird. Yeah.
Nerd Hulk, who got bullied because he's Smart Hulk. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, man. And then you got Ulman. Yeah, I'm saying, like, you got Ulman. It's dope. And you got Punisher. Yeah, man.
Okay. I mean, you know what? Some of those stuff, I look back and go, yeah, that was wacky.
It's wacky. Man.
And then some of the stuff you're like, actually, that was really good for the time.
Yeah.
But
wacky, insane.
Yeah. All right. I'm the man who had the mental meltdown because his history was subverted, and turns out that I'm a product of genetic modification rather than mutation. See why, Sean?
And I am the man who was the first mutant, kind of, but not, because retcons make no sense. Carl Charles. And thank you for listening to us talk about this. I ain't gonna lie, it's an amazing comic. As much as I slag it off, it was amazing. I'd rather read this anytime than Ultimates 3, because that is the armpits of comics, if I'm honest. Yeah. Have you read it? Let us know if you read it, and how far did you get into it before you like, this makes no sense? Let us know. And you can do that by following us on Instagram and Twitter, and leave us a comment or a tweet. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to give us a like and share with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. It's fun and it's free. And you can also email us, because the email's in that. You can find out all in the description bit, which is probably, if you're watching us on YouTube, down below. If it's on a podcasting app, it's there somewhere. I don't know which one you're using. And until next time, guys, thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.